Hey everybody, this is Inform the Confused. I'm Alan.
And I'm Bobby.
Well, we're here.
Don't say it like that. It's like Disneyland. We're here.
We're here.
That sounded more like psychotic, but
we're here.
yeah, I am prepared to see just how much shit goes down.
RWBY.
But I was right. Yang is totally out of the picture. I knew she was. I didn't expect it to be
hands down.
Boo.
All right, you have reached your hands quota, Bill.
Limit on hand puns.
Yeah, though I'm surprised nobody has made the most famous. Was got to be the most famous RWBY pun. Pure return penny and a quarters. Pure return to penny and a quarters.
Oh.
I don't think I've ever seen a reaction video of that episode that didn't have at least one person make that joke
Penny's
in the
death
comments.
hurts me there. Like, even though that was, 5-6 years ago?
Yeah,
Something like that.
yeah.
Like, her death still hurts.
Well, Penny's just such a innocent, wonderful,
the way she gets ripped apart.
naive, great character. I mean, she's so happy right up to the moment it happens, too. You know, it's just like her last words are literally, "This is going to be so much fun." Before the fight starts. But anyways, RWBY, Volume 3, Chapter 12, End of the Beginning.
What an end of the beginning.
The
Episode
very
7?
first episode was the beginning
Nope,
of the...
Episode 7. The
Oh,
villain
that's
flashback
right.
was beginning of the end. Now we are at end of the beginning.
It's also the end of the first 3-volume arc.
Yep.
So, it is the end of the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Many meanings. Very few words.
Yep.
Layered like an onion.
Mm-hmm. So, and it's also another ending. This is going to be the last episode we're currently recording with Bobby before he goes on his trip.
Yep.
So you guys will be watching this probably a couple months after we record it.
I think
our
if
release
my
schedule
math
holds
is
out.
right, this should be posting sometime in July or August.
Yeah. So at which point Bobby will be.
Far
you wanna
Not
go ahead
here.
Yeah. You want to go ahead and mention what we haven't actually said when we were going to be.
He'll be in Mountain Glen, obviously.
Yeah, I'm going to Bunny Island to make myself a weapon, and it will also be a gun. So.
Yeah. No. He
And
will
possibly a bunny.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. No. He will be.
My bunny will also be a gun. My semblance is that I can just keep making more of them at will.
But for today, we have a final episode.
Yes. So, shall we get into it?
By all means, hit that play button.
All right, let me get my sound hooked up here. Let's do this.
Is he spring?
The maidens have to be women.
Oh, that's right. Sky Turtle.
That's it. Everybody on board. This is a mandatory evacuation.
A safe zone has been established in Vale. Please, remain calm and listen to Atlas personnel.
The human ones, not the murder bots.
Ruby! Oh, I found you. Ruby, where are you? Don't worry, I'm fine. What's going on? Weiss? What is it?
You didn't grab her arm? You're a really shitty friend. I should have grabbed your arm. I meant to give you a hand. Instead, I just got you out of there.
Dang.
She's gonna be okay. The soldiers have a ship ready to take you guys to Vale.
But John and Pyrrha are still missing. Ugh. What?
Look, guys. That giant Grim keeps circling the school. Even the White Fang are pulling out. We all have to go. Now.
We're not leaving.
Ugh.
Lying there, Yang just looks so harmless.
I'll find them.
Sorry.
I'll find them and I'll bring them back.
No. We will find them. Watch after Blake and Yang. We'll be back.
You better be.
So glad the dog didn't go with them.
Idiots.
You are so
Well,
cut.
they can't.
So fucking cut. It's like they worked on the lighting and the shading, and he just became deeper cut.
I think I have Glinda's number.
He's been lifting.
Where is it? Pyrrha? What was all of that?
Houston, we have liftoff.
But Ozpin.
There's no time. Go. Get to Vale and call for help.
Huh? What are you gonna do? No. No, Pyrrha, you can't. You saw how powerful she is. Pyrrha, I won't let you do...
That I didn't see coming.
I'm sorry.
Hey!
She shoved him in a locker. That's a little more accurate.
Please don't...
They don't have steering wheels.
Yeah. The entire concept of the rocket lockers was created specifically for this scene.
Wait, what?
The entire concept of those rocket lockers was created specifically for that scene in mind. So they can specifically do that
They went
scene.
and peppered them throughout the previous
Yep.
episode so that it wouldn't be weird.
You're such a badass.
Yes, she is.
It's Sean! Where are you?
Weiss! Please, you have to stop her.
What?
Pyrrha! She's going after that woman at the top of the tower. She doesn't stand a chance.
Sean, what are you talking about? Where are you?
Don't worry about me.
Please. You have to save Pyrrha.
We will. Are you okay?
Please.
John? John!
I have a plan. You always do. This is your home now.
God, she's a badass, though. Holy shit.
Oh, hell yeah.
To think that she was willing to go that far.
The thing with the gears, man, that was crazy strong.
Did she just... Oh, the gravity spells.
That's,
Oh, she took... Oh, to your Achilles tendon! Hey! They stuck to it! You're never going to be a fighter again. And then it explodes.
It's unfortunate you were promised a power that was never truly yours. But take comfort in knowing that I will use it in ways you could never have imagined.
Do you believe in destiny?
Yes.
She was, wasn't she? Was she Summer?
Sure.
Wow.
That's the show, not your headphones.
It's all right. I got you, kiddo.
It's high pitch in my headphones.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like that.
My headphones have 10 drivers per earbud, so it's like tendinitis prone.
Nothing. Just turn it off. Without the CCT, there's no point.
Communication down across the entire kingdom. No way to contact the outside world. And Ozpin's still missing.
Yeah.
This is bad, bro.
Yeah. This is bad.
So that was Ruby's dad speaking then.
Yes.
Is that Ruby?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Never seen her with her hair like that.
She's not wearing her sleeping mask.
Yeah.
Ruby! You're awake.
What happened?
Your Uncle Crow found you, unconscious. He got you out of there, though. He brought you home safe.
Wait, Yang! Is she alright?
She's gonna be all right. I think it's just gonna take some time for her to get used to things. She's too strong to let this stop her. I'm just glad to have my girls back at home.
What happened to the school? And Vale? Were they able to clear out the Grim?
Things at Vale are under control, but the school, it's not that simple. That thing, whatever it is, doesn't seem to be dead. Don't get me wrong, you did a number on it, but it's not disappearing. It's kind of frozen. I know that doesn't sound too bad, but it keeps attracting more Grim to the school.
I did what? You said I did a number on it. What do you mean?
Look, that's not important right now. We can talk about it later. Things are just kind of a mess.
It's always a mess.
And that's why he
Mind
drinks.
if we have a minute?
What, I can't stay here?
Ty, please.
I'm glad you're all right. I'll go make us some tea.
So, how you feeling?
I kind of hurt all over.
That makes sense.
after what you did.
You guys keep saying that I did something. What are you talking about?
What's the last thing you remember?
I ran up the side of the tower, and when I got to the top, Pyrrha! Is she...
She's gone.
I got to the top, and I saw Pyrrha, and Cinder, and then everything went white.
Anything else?
I remember my head hurting.
The night you met Ozpin, what was the first thing he said to you?
I don't know. I think it was something about...
Silver eyes. That's an extremely rare trait.
So?
You're special, Ruby. And not in the daddy loves his special angel kind of way. You're special the same way your mom was. Remnant's full of legends and stories. Some of them true, some made up. But there's one Oz told me from a very long time ago. Back before Huntsman, before kingdoms. It was said that those born with silver eyes were destined to lead the life of a warrior. You see, the creatures of Grimm, the most fearsome monsters mankind had ever encountered, were afraid of those silver-eyed warriors. They were the best of the best. It was said that even a single look from one of these fighters could strike a Grimm down. It's a ridiculous story.
But you think that I might be...
Well, a giant monster's currently frozen on top of Beacon Tower, and you're here, safe in bed.
Wait, how did you know what Ozpin said to me the night we met?
All those missions I go on, all the times I'm away in some far-off place, it's been for Ozpin. But he's missing now. Something's been set in motion. And with Oz gone, I'll have to pick up where he left off.
Then what can I do? If I'm so special, then I can help, right?
You really want to help? Get some rest. You're in no condition to go anywhere right now. Besides, our enemy's trail leads all the way to Haven. That'd be quite a trip for a pipsqueak like you. Catch you later, kiddo.
Nudge, nudge, hint, hint.
I love the animation work with the mirror.
Is that her gun? Or just one glove?
That's just one of her.
The one she has left.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're okay.
But I'm not.
Oh,
all
it is below
gone.
the elbow.
The school,
It's above the elbow.
Penny,
No, above the
Pyrrha,
elbow would
and-
be
Oh,
Yang,
there.
okay.
where are Weiss and Blake?
Wouldn't it be?
Weiss's father
'Cause it's
came
above
for
the
her.
knee.
I think above is closer to the shoulder, where
What do you
below.
mean?
Not really pertinent right now, guys.
No one outside of Vale knows what happened here. Before the tower fell, the last thing people saw was Atlas attacking innocent people and Grimm destroying the city. Everyone's scared. No one knows who to trust. So Weiss's father came to take her back to Alice, where he thinks it's safe. She's gone.
What about...
And Blake ran. Son saw her go. After we got to the city, she just ran.
But why?
I don't know. And I don't care.
There has to be a reason she...
No, there doesn't. Sometimes bad things just happen, Ruby.
So what do we do now?
You could do whatever you want. I'm gonna lie here.
Yang,
Just leave me alone.
Don't lay on your hair. It's really bad for it.
I love you.
Aww. Foreshadowing. Something is yet to come. Not gonna lie, I thought
one
this
thing,
episode
winter
was
came.
gonna have already ended by now, so I'm kind of just digging this.
Haven's a long way to go.
I know. It's the only lead we have.
He's got an
Are you
orange
sure
hoodie
you
on
want
now.
to come along?
Nope.
The journey will be perilous.
Yeah, same hoodie.
Oh,
And
I
whether
thought
we'll
normally
find
it was
answers
red
at the
inside.
end is entirely uncertain.
But we wouldn't be here if we weren't up for it. Then let's get started.
A smaller, more honest soul. It's true that a simple spark can ignite hope, breathe fire into the hearts of the weary. The ability to derive strength from hope is undoubtedly mankind's
Dad, I don't
greatest
know
attribute.
how to write. Only fight and kill monsters.
Which is why
Really.
I will focus all of my power to snuff it out. How does it feel? Knowing that all of your time and effort has been for nothing. That your guardians have failed you. That everything you've built will be torn down before your very eyes. Your faith in mankind was not misplaced. When banded together, unified by a common enemy, they are a noticeable threat. But divide them, place doubt into their minds, and any semblance of power they once had will wash away. Of course, they won't realize it at first. Like you, they'll cling to their fleeting hope, their aspirations. But this was merely the first move. So you send your guardians, your huntsmen and huntresses, and when they fail and you turn to your smaller soul, know that you send her to the same pitiful demise. This is the beginning of the end, Ozpin. And I can't wait to watch you burn.
All right, so this show definitely took a turn I was not expecting it to take. I think I'm gonna start it off a little backwards. I think the smaller band of huntsmen that have all gotten together, the fact that they're not from their original. Oh no, by all means, let it go.
We got the credits. Yeah. Yeah.
I think the smaller band going out is going to be an interesting combination. Yeah.
Yep. And will now be known as Team Ranger.
Well, they haven't discussed.
RNJR. Yeah. Yeah, no, but we got those four going off to Mistral. Weiss is going back home. Blake is MIA.
Oh no, Blake is running reconnaissance, looking for.
Well, she ran off. That's all we know. We don't know where she went. She just left.
All we know
She
is
up and
Sun
left.
saw her run off.
Yep. Without
But
telling
they-
anybody where she's going.
But they showed pictures of her running.
We're just leaping across rooftops, going somewhere. So,
Hey, stray cat's gonna stray.
yeah. And Yang is depressed and in bed.
Hey, she lost her arm.
She's
so-
kind of got a good reason to be
Yeah.
depressed right now.
Oh yeah, totally. Just that is where we're at right now. That's where everybody's at.
I think it's going to be
Austin's
one of those
missing.
things, like I had said, that Yang is going to end up being a teacher at the school. She's also going to get some kind of punchy gun arm.
Well, we know Cinder walked away. Osmond didn't, as far as we know. He's missing.
Yeah.
So, but that also means they didn't necessarily find a. Presumably, that means they didn't find a body. But have to see. Yeah, and Beacon is still overrun with Grimm, even though they managed to save the city.
Yep.
The kingdoms are all terrified of each other now. Nobody knows who to trust. Everybody's on edge.
The last thing broadcasted was one nation attacking another.
Yep. Which is why Weiss's dad came to get her.
Yep.
So.
Her dad's stash.
I thought her dad was going to be fatter than he was.
Nope. He's a skinny guy.
This is a solid soundtrack.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is one of my favorite episodes. This would be the theme of the individual we saw at the very end.
Okay.
So, any thoughts on that unique individual?
I have no clue.
Well, for one thing, if you recognized her voice, you now realize that she's been talking to us for some time now.
Yep. All the way back in the very first voice we hear in the show. When the narrator comes on talking about
she is our female
the very
narrator.
Beginning, that has been her this entire time. When we have that conversation between her and Osmond at the beginning of the show.
So she's
it's
the
her.
Wicked Witch.
If you watch the credits, because the credits are always in order of appearance, you will see how she is credited when we get to the end here. Or actually, no, that's not the credits, is it? That's a staff listing. I'm sorry. We already passed the credits. Her name is Salem. So. This is the song I was worried Bill might have you hear, because it's kind of this song serves a dual role. It's both kind of a honoring Monty song and a.
Well, this one wasn't the one I was going to play.
All right. Well, this was the one I was talking about, but I don't know. And it's also a Jean.
I had to pull from the playlist earlier.
Well, that's
to make sure.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Well, there was one you said I couldn't play until we finished watching this too.
There were two of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But yes, you see
the
like the bird
birds.
thing, Monty Ohm. Yeah.
What a brilliant signature.
Yeah.
The fuck? Oh, look at her hair's gotten longer.
Oh.
That was a spoiler. I don't care. Did you guys see how long her hair was? Yes. Probably it looked greasy as shit, girl. You need a salon. Hunter or not, put shampoo in that bitch.
All right. That's volume 3.
And I couldn't help but notice that out of all of the episodes, this is one of 2 episodes you didn't write shit.
The last 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Both because I'm just engaged in it and I've seen these enough
so
times.
good.
If I can't remember what's happening in these episodes, I don't deserve to talk about this. Now watch me screw this the fuck up. Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and we'll start from the beginning as usual.
Yep.
We had the Osmond Cinder fight.
That struck me very much. I think he's time-oriented by some means because he was really quick at some points in time, and other times it just seemed like...
Yeah, there was a point where he kind of did... She fired a bunch of shots at him, and he kind of did the, like, Matrix in Neo, or Neo in Matrix, or Agent thing, where he's, like, the whooshy kind of thing or whatever like that. Yeah, and then he attacked back, and he produced this kind of green bubble around him.
Yep, it reminded me of Time Machine.
And then it was just kind of him going up at her while she fired a fireball, and something happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get Pyrrha and John, frantically thinking about what they're going to do. And then Cinder comes flying up from the vault.
Finally, yes.
Yes.
I did not actually see that coming. That was actually kind of a surprise. I didn't think Ruby committed to relationships, and then after she dies, I realized I was right. Yes, we'll confirm this, but only because now she's off the table.
Yeah. Well, in retrospect, that was a very, very big death flag.
Yep.
I'm going off to fight the impossible fight. Let me give you the kiss just in case.
Finally kiss the boy she likes before she goes to fight the big bad.
Yeah, it was kind of there, and she puts up a hell of a fight.
She does.
But at the end of the day, it's just not enough.
Can't stand up to the power of a maiden.
Yep. And
she did, though, for a hot minute.
Oh, yeah. She lasted a lot longer than a lot of other people would.
Because I saw how they were fighting, that makes me think she didn't show half that power fighting Penny. So that makes me think that I think Pyrrha would have wiped the floor with Penny easily.
Admittedly, it's a different type of fight. The fight with Penny was a tournament fight. Yeah. This was life and death. There's always going to be a little bit of a difference because, here Pyrrha is trying to kill Cinder. Let's make no bones about that. This is a fight
and
to the death.
And she knows that Cinder is trying to kill
her. Yeah.
There's
fight
that
with Penny,
desperation added to the situation that you don't get in a tournament fight.
Yeah, she was not trying to go full tilt and just, literally turn Penny into a splatter on the floor. That wasn't what she was trying to do.
I did think it was interesting that she made sure that Pyrrha's crown or her headpiece didn't.
Yeah, it doesn't evaporate or turn to ash with the rest of her. Yeah.
So I would say this is got a level of character death intensity along the lines of like Attack on Titan, where it's everybody's like, yeah, we're totally going to do this. I can't wait to be hunters and kill monsters, and congratulations, you're hunters. And they come back with PTSD, and they're all fucked up. And in this, it's like, here Ruby as a child. She's innocence incarnate coming into I've always wanted to be the hero. And you're watching what heroes do.
And now she has 2 dead friends, and her sister is crippled.
Yep. I mean, she says that line when she's fighting Torchwick, we will stop them and I will stop you. And then she proceeds to not. The only reason she survives that fight is because a Grimm comes in and takes out Torchwick.
Yeah.
And then they don't stop them. I mean, Ruby did something clearly that Cinder wasn't expecting, because when the eye thing happened, Cinder was like, what?
Yep.
And then the Grimm is now frozen up on top of the tower. But at the end of the day,
Beacon still fell.
Beacon fell. It's still overrun with Grimm. The CCT tower is down, which means no more
communications.
No more global communications. After the world just watched this shit show.
They did say that in between the towers that they did have
support systems.
Support systems. So they don't have support systems up in the sky.
No, but the 4 main towers all have to be up in order for the system to function.
But they do have to be up constant. They had to be constantly repaired. So if radio frequencies work between short distances, then they can technically create small chains to outlink communities.
It doesn't work like that. That's not how the system's set up. No. The system is set up because remember the radio for one thing, that's not going to do like picture and shit. Or video.
No, but it's still communication.
True. And that is designed to work on a local level. They're not designed to chain like that. Why would they be designed to chain when they have the CCT? They would have to jury-rig that entire system to get that to work like that.
Fair.
As of right now, they have no global communications. No one in Vale can talk to anybody outside the Kingdom of Vale. probably not even all of the territory of Vale, because the radio range is very limited.
Okay.
So, that's down. Everybody's going to be, suspicious of everybody else all of a sudden, because of that. And let's see. We'll go back to going back towards the beginning. We had Weiss and Ruby come across the others.
Yep.
And see Yang and Blake are hurt, and we find out that Pura and Jean are still missing. So Ruby and Weiss decide to go off and look for them.
Mm-hmm.
And we find out that at this point, even the White Fang are leaving.
Yeah, they were all pulling out.
They're all pulling
out.
out.
It's an impossible task.
The more Grimm just keep coming. That big one is still circling the tower. Everybody just needs to leave. They've managed to secure the city, right? So the major population center is okay, and they have a safe zone there, but the school is a lost cause.
Right.
Then Weiss and Ruby will go run off, and Ruby has a plan. And they're confident they're going to get there in time. Meanwhile, Pura is up. They do get in touch with Jean, and he tells them where she is, and is very distraught because
Because Weiss won't shut up and help his friend. She just keeps asking questions, even after he's like, "Stop asking questions and go help Pura." What? What do you mean? Shut up! Ah!
Well, he's being kind of just manic. He's not actually.
Oh,
being
he's
100%
exceedingly
clear.
manic. I mean, look at what he just went through and what he
Yeah.
now believes is going to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
to the girl who kissed him. Again, he's got reason.
Yeah, no, and I think it's a. I think Miles Luna does a good job voice acting in that scene.
It's scary though because the way she talks about her views of destiny are something that you work to do, something you work to achieve.
Yep.
And her asking, "Do you believe in destiny?" It's eerie because it's almost like that's what she thought she was meant to achieve. Or she was supposed to be at the top of that tower, catching an arrow to the chest.
She may have just been accepting that no matter what she thought, ain't destiny a funny thing.
Yeah, well, I think it's very much. She thought it was her destiny to go up there and stop Cinder. She was going to try. She was going to be the hero. That was her destiny. She was the one who was supposed to have the maiden powers. She was the one who was supposed to stop Cinder. That was her destiny.
Right.
That was what everything had built up for her in her life. That was the culmination of that moment, and that's not what happened. Whereas Cinder, on the other hand, clearly thinks, yes, I do believe in I believe in destiny. I believe in my destiny. So,
and she believes that her destiny is being fulfilled.
Yeah, because she wins the fight, and it looks like she's won until Ruby gets up there and eyes. And did you remember that scene? Way back in episode 1?
I'm glad he referenced it because it was such an under-the-cuff thing. I didn't pay attention to it.
At the time.
You have to remember,
at the time it was, when we watched it, and we always go back and watch our episode of that, it was noticed. It was something you noticed and thought would come back, and it did. It just took 3 seasons. Yeah. When was the last time you thought about the fact that he commented on her eye color?
The first episode, that's it.
Yeah. It's dropped. It's an off-hand comment, and that's it.
We have spent more than hours watching episodes. So had I binged this, I probably would have been like, "Oh, season 1 this time around." 1 comment, 3 weeks later is rough.
Yeah, but I mean, and that's what the way it's layered in there. It's the first thing Osmond says to her.
Yep.
So there's got to be some sort of significance, but then they bury it. And it never comes up again for 3 seasons.
They let you forget about it entirely until this.
And then they drop this.
And then they don't explain the damn thing.
And then, and we find out that it's, at least what the legend is that, people with silver eyes are born to be warriors, and that they're born with the ability to look a Grimm in the eye and strike it down. Or something.
Which makes sense why, like silver is bad for monsters, silver and the Grimm look like werewolves. And
I guess you could look at it that way. But, And he also said, Crow tells her, "You're special the same way your mom was."
Yep.
So does that mean she also had silver eyes? Does that mean she had some similar type of
Well, it probably
weird
means
ability,
that her mom was
or
also a Silver Eye.
that is certainly the most obvious interpretation of that line. We get confirmation that Pyrrha is in fact gone, deceased.
Yep.
Turned to ash, minus her headpiece. Yeah, no. We did see that Ublik and Port made it out.
Yep.
They did survive their fight with the Griffins. So good
That,
for them.
not at all shocked.
Yeah. Still nice to see, though, just to have confirmation of that, given how little we have confirmation of in some other areas.
Right.
Right. Because we still don't know what the hell happened to Osmond. We did see his cane, though, at the very end.
Yeah, Crow had his cane.
Crow
before
has his
Crow
cane.
turned into a crow. Which I don't know how I feel about that, but I do. That same Crow was staring at Yang in her hotel room or in her hospital room or whatever she is in.
Bedroom.
Yeah,
That's their house.
Oh, was it?
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
Mhm. And if you think about it, we have seen black birds.
We've seen crows like that before. Lots, actually, in this world.
Though I will pose this question because it's, and I know this because this in the real world this is a hard thing to distinguish. Are what we have seen crows or are they ravens? They're very similar looking birds, but they are distinct if you look at them closely.
Well, like it was said, some families have the ability to have a similar semblance.
What's the, this is killing me, the word for the group that both ravens and crows are part of? Begins with a C, I think.
Carrion?
Corvids? Is it corvids?
Yeah, corvids.
Yeah.
Corvids. Okay, that was just
Carrion
picking
birds.
at my brain. I had to have an answer to that. Sorry. Yeah. So you think that was his semblance, as he can turn into a bird?
Mm-hmm.
No.
I think he can do it. I think his sister can do it.
Well, if it's hereditary, wouldn't that mean Yang can do it?
No. It could be
Not
dormant.
necessarily. And
be
it might
latent.
not be generationally hereditary if it's the brother and sister have it, but maybe their mom and dad didn't. It's just something the brother and sister share.
It's possible.
Semblances are weird like that.
Or it could be, it could always be passed through the male line, from father to child rather than mother to child.
Mm.
That's a possibility.
Sadly, we just aren't told enough about Crow yet at this point.
Yep, or Raven for that matter. Even less about Raven. Yeah, but we finally meet Taiyang. We finally meet their dad.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen him in the background. You've seen him in a photograph, but
Yeah, we finally get.
this is the first time he gets actual screen time.
Yeah, and Crow kind of kicks him out of the room to have a conversation with her, which he's not happy about, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, his daughter just woke up from being essentially in a coma for a day or two, or however long she was unconscious.
After the other daughter got her arm chopped off.
Yeah, and the first thing he's told when Crow comes into the room is, "Hey, Ty, get out. I got to talk to her."
Yeah. Well, I will say props to Crow for just coming out and telling Ruby what's going on, because Ty wanted to play coy about it like they do in every bloody show, where it's, oh, that's not important right now. We'll tell you when it's more plot relevant.
Yeah, Ty didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah. It's not time in the plot for me to talk about this yet. And Crow's just like, fuck the plot. We're talking about this now. And he tells her about the Silver Eye thing.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, that is now 2 lost historical magical seeming abilities, or sets of abilities, or types of beings that we have encountered at this point.
Between our silver-eyed warriors and the maidens.
Maidens and silver-eyed warriors.
Yeah.
Which begs the question,
What else is out there?
what else is out there?
How many more?
And then we have Salem at the end there, who looking kind of grimy.
Yeah, just a touch.
The whole
She's got
cracked face.
the white, black with the red veins and the red eye, glowing red eyes.
They've been fighting a war and trying to keep the rest of the human population ignorant to it. It's like a grim fairy tale.
And she's, like we said, she's still very much having, I like the economy of, she's still continuing that conversation she had with Osmond in the very first episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a continuation of that, which means if she's still theoretically having a conversation with Osmond, that would kind of imply that he's still alive.
Yep.
And that they're somehow psychic.
Or
If they're having this conversation from wherever the hell she is in that weird, grimy,
in that
dark
weird,
place.
you got that weird place where it's all purple with like purple
That
crystal.
definitely wasn't Beacon.
Yeah, it's definitely no place we've seen before. It does appear to be like the same world because we see the moon.
Mm-hmm.
So they still appear to be somewhere in Remnant, it looks like. Yeah, no, it's...
She's somewhere, just not here.
Yep, and she's very specifically calling out Osmond.
Yep.
So, and of course, the basic question, if Osmond is still alive, if Cinder didn't kill him, then where'd he go?
He could just be really injured and laying low.
At this point, I think it's pure speculation. I've got nowhere to say
Yeah.
he could or couldn't have gone. He's just not there anymore.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, where's Yang's hand?
Well, I think we know it probably got left on the campus and then got found a couple of days later when they were going through the debris and it was declared, that's been sitting there too long. That's not gonna,
See, we're going to hit
can't
like
attach that.
volume 11 and they'll be going back through here and just in a shop on a shelf in a wall, there'll be a jar with an arm in it.
It'll just be that Yang's one singular gauntlet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we got after she talks to Crow and Ruby goes and talks to Yang, and that's a very very somber, very sad scene.
Yep.
Well voice acted, I think. Where it's difficult, almost difficult to watch Yang, who has constantly been the most upbeat and
Chipper.
positive, and like, oh, there was a problem. Let's just start over again. Kind of like really optimistic person, and she's just crashed. She is
defeated
and nihilistic and cynical, and she throws Crow's words back out at Ruby about sometimes bad things just happen.
Yep.
Or where he was saying it, he was using it to try to motivate her in a positive way that, sometimes bad things just happen and you got to move on. Or she's just like, no, there is no reason. It's just bad things happen and that's the way the world is and it sucks and there's nothing we can do about it.
Yep.
Kind of attitude. So it's, yeah. And it turns like with Blake, it turns out Adam was right. She said what she wouldn't run, and he said you will. And in the end, she ran. So.
Yep.
But then so we got the rest of Team Juniper and Ruby are going to Haven Academy in Mistral because Crow, of course, intended for them to do that when he dropped that piece of information.
On foot.
Obviously. On foot. Which, by the way, is on another continent. They will have to take a boat at some point. And then we get the whole thing with Salem monologuing about wanting to snuff out hope and such. And that's the end, except for like we saw the Crow is kind of following them with Osmond's cane and turning into a bird apparently.
Yeah, that one caught me off guard because that was a little, I don't know if it was him jumping down and spooking a bird or him jumping down and turning into a bird.
I got to think, I will say, if that is him just jumping down and spooking a bird, that is a colossally dick move on the writer's part.
Agreed.
To
Agreed, but it's
put
still
that
just like a...
MacGuffin or that the red herring out there.
Yeah.
Though the show has been known to do stuff like that. They are not past showing us one thing and going in a totally different direction with it.
It might be one of those things where, like, when Ruby uses her semblance and you see rose petals, when Crow uses his semblance of jumping down a hill, you just kind of see a crow.
Whenever Crow uses his semblance, birds appear.
Well, because I will mention one of the instances where we saw a black bird flying around was in the air and around the courtyard area while he and Winter were having that talk. So we have seen a black bird flying around while Crow is clearly standing there as a human being doing human being things.
So he might have some kind of summons Crow or some...
Crow, master of crows.
Crow, master of crows? Or if he does in fact turn into a bird, maybe somebody else also has the ability to turn into a bird?
Or it might be a whole mass displacement issue. I mean, 1 200-pound man turning into a 5-pound bird. It would make much more sense if he turned into, say, 100 birds.
He turns into a flight of birds?
The mass has got to go somewhere.
Well, kind of like Ruby, when Ruby does her thing, she kind of sheds rose petals. When Crow does his thing, whatever that may be.
He sheds crows.
He sheds crows. He sheds birds.
Goes running down a hallway and people just freak the fuck out.
Yeah. Trying to think. Anything else with this episode specifically?
I think you hit all the main points.
Yeah, I think we got all
Season
the main
wrap
points.
up.
Yeah. So season 3 as a whole.
You walked into this with a pretty solid theory on where this was going. How did it stand up?
Your theory was he was trying to get to Ironwood. They were
I
trying to get to
that,
Ironwood.
I think that I definitely undershot the big bad guy. But I do think that I was still relatively correct as far as Cinder using Penny to get to Ironwood.
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
To discredit him and to discredit Atlas.
Yeah.
So that was...
To the scale in which she did that, I severely underestimated.
Yeah. This was a much bigger... This was much... As Ospen said, we don't know if this goes beyond Beacon, beyond Vale. Way back when in Volume 2 when he was being cautious.
Yeah. I think overall, Season 3 really... I would almost call it like a puberty season where the show went through this massive transformation and they're really taking it into a direction that I didn't see coming.
Yeah. Because I've told you a couple times now, off camera, that the first few volumes of RWBY, because we were talking about the slow build and all that, are basically a prologue.
Yep.
Now the show starts.
Yeah.
Now we start the real story, the real meat and potatoes of what the actual narrative is, what's going on. Not all of the players certainly, but most of the key players now appear to be at least in play.
Yeah.
Because
to the point now where they've eliminated enough support characters to simply introduce a whole new tier of villainy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because we now know there appears to be someone over Cinder. We kind of knew that going into it.
Well,
based
we
on the
keep
dialogue.
hearing Cinder talking to someone. Now we can make some assumptions.
Yep. That is the person.
Not too many, because this is just one person.
Yeah, so we don't know if Cinder reports to this one person, or if this one person is, a number of degrees even higher up the hierarchy, or whatever. But like you said, we know there are additional layers of villainy here.
That there are.
Cinder is, because we started out where it was in Volume 1, it was just Torchwick. Torchwick was the villain who was skulking around doing villain stuff.
Yep.
And teaming it with a White Fang. Then we got the tease. We got the tease at the end there of Cinder's existence.
Yep.
And it kind of looked like she was the big bad.
Yep.
And then she did stuff in Volume 2,
That
and
you thought she was leading up and fulfilling her big badness, and turns out she's just a hardcore
and then
player.
and then Volume 3 we get the hints that no, there's even more going on, and here it is.
Yep.
So now I got to ask. Now that you've seen all of this, what is your revised, if you have one at this point, theory or idea of what do the villains as a whole, what does the new big bad or whatever, what could you think they possibly want? What does it look like?
No idea.
Based on what they've done, do you see a pattern of, looks like they're manipulating
They
this?
want to tear down the existing kingdoms. That's the best I got. Everything else would be so far unreasonably guessed because I have no founding for it.
Yeah. Although I will say, like, if you've got an idea, throw it up there, dude, because you have a pretty good track record when it comes to just throwing shit out there.
And this, I don't have enough information to come up with something epic like that.
Yeah.
There is a weird level of ingredients necessary for me to bake the mind quiche that is my theory.
Well, because let's see, we know they have destroyed Beacon Academy.
Yep.
They have shut down global communications.
Yep.
And they have stirred enmity between the kingdoms. In particular, between they've made Atlas look really, really bad.
Yep.
People in Vale generally will have an idea of what's going on because they're there for the aftermath.
Yep.
People in Atlas will presumably know they didn't do it, or at least hope their government didn't do it. But then people in Mistral and Vacuo don't have a freaking clue.
Nope.
So yeah, they've certainly put things on edge. We've gone from time of peace to holy shit. So, yeah.
It won't be until I watch season 4 that I can start coming up with any more speculations.
Yep, and we'll say when we get into 4, which will be a while for you.
For a bit, yep.
For a bit. That will be when the new animation engine kicks in.
Okay.
And we'll start seeing that, and that'll have an effect, both on the animation and on the fight choreography.
Mm-hmm.
We know our heroes are now divided.
Yep.
They've scattered. So we'll have to see how long that's going to last for. Whether it's just for, a couple episodes. Do we start back up with them getting together again? Are they like that for a season, a couple of seasons? The bulk of the rest of the show. How do we, how do they divide this up?
Getting tight in this chair, though. Man, we're going to have to get comfier chairs for season 4.
Because the seasons are going to get longer. We will end up spending more time in the chairs. Any change to the standard questions? Favorite character, favorite weapon, favorite semblance? Now that we definitely have more to choose from.
Now that we've seen so much more of the adults.
Yep. And the students, too.
That too.
Favorite semblance is that photographic memory.
Velvet, yep.
Favorite hunter is still Ozpin when he's off screen.
Mm-hmm. Weapon.
Mercury's gun legs.
Mercury's gun legs.
I think as of right now, they're my favorite weapon.
Yeah. Okay. What about we'll say favorite moment? Do you have a favorite moment? I mean, there's a lot happens in this thing, but is there one you can pick out above the others?
It's hard to say favorite because there were a lot of powerful moments that stand out.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily make them my favorite moment.
Yeah.
Favorite moment.
Or if favorite is too soon to answer, then standout moment. Standout moment.
There are a lot of standout moments.
Yeah.
Favorite moment, I think I can probably get that one down.
Velvet's fight.
No, that's a standout moment.
That is definitely one of my favorite moments in this.
The whole
volume.
sequence of the mechs is just wonderful.
Weiss's crazy eyes is my favorite moment.
Weiss's crazy eyes when she goes charging.
Just before she goes charging, she gets that, and the screen slightly distorts her eyes just a little bit. That's my favorite moment because it's in that moment you can see her internal struggle of I just have to do it because that's what I stand for, and then she just does it. But she has like such an internal struggle with self.
Yeah. Well, she's like got her eyes closed. She doesn't expect it to work.
Can we go back to that? Is that in this episode? Or no, that was last episode. Okay, we'll check it out later then. But yeah. Yep. Favorite moment.
Yeah. I'll say on my end, and Bill, if you want to think about this while I'm going, favorite weapon for me, certainly up to this point, I think is probably It's probably Velvet's weapon, the camera, just because of the absolute versatility of it, and it so perfectly matches her semblance. No, that weapon doesn't work for
That's one
anybody
of those
else.
weird ones where
She makes it
where
work.
does the weapon end and the semblance begin? Because they're both halves of the whole that is the way she does.
Because she has a photographic memory. She can use the camera to get focused. Like she can call back to it.
Yeah.
So whereas you're standing right here, if I go click and then stare, I can analyze everything to the detail, and to that detail, I can then go, ta-da. Although she keeps taking pictures of Ruby, so I can't tell if she's like, look, I took a picture of your face, as well as I took a picture of you and your weapon is out.
Well, the one time when we first see the camera, at that point she's just taking a picture of Ruby.
Mm-hmm.
Because she does legitimately just like photography, like taking pictures and stuff.
Or is that like
it's later on when she has her weapon out that she takes the picture specifically to capture that.
Like she did with Sun's gunchucks.
Yeah, and she keeps doing it because anytime she uses one of them, she has to retake the picture in order to...
right.
Yeah. Which
it's kind of like each picture she takes is a single round.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or a single clip almost, because it lasts for a little while. So, depending on how you look at it, if it's like an energy weapon or something. But, it's actually called Anisadora, by the way.
Her camera?
Yeah, it's the name of her weapon. Anisadora.
Anisadora.
Yeah. Favorite. That's probably favorite weapon. Favorite character at this point? At this point was probably... It might Nora, probably like a tie between Nora and Crow, because Crow was really cool, and I really like Nora, but I hadn't quite hit peak Nora yet. There's still some stuff that hasn't happened that will elevate my Nora, my opinion of her. So probably like a tie between Nora and Crow, with Weiss coming up quickly. Weiss is.
Yeah.
Her whole arc from the very beginning of this all the way through to 3, just shows a lot of character growth. And or even like John. Look at a character like John. Remember what he was like in the first freaking episode? Vomit
Barf
boy.
boy.
Yeah.
Just barfing all over the place and just can't speak straight and
get your shit together, man.
Thinking he's just gonna come in there and be a player and just no. And and now he's, having this sort of thing happen to him, and he's just like when he meets up with Ruby again, it's just nope, I'm here, let's do this.
Yep.
We are ready for this. Ren actually spoke this volume.
A lot.
A lot.
You wouldn't shut the fuck up.
God,
what was that about?
Compared to previous.
Calm down, dude. Jesus.
And favorite semblance? Weiss's is certainly up there. I'm trying to think. Favorite semblance that we know about at this point? Glinda's will always be up there simply because I'm always just a fan of telekinesis and anything. That is my personal favorite superpower.
Mm-hmm.
And Velvet's, again, up there with her weapon for the same reason. They pair so well.
Right.
It's just perfectly designed. The weapon is perfectly designed to work with that particular person's semblance. And yeah, I mean, and Nora, of course, we get Nora semblance, which was part of my Nora.
Yeah, back
fandom.
at the beginning.
And in the fights, it almost feels like 2 different volumes, doesn't it?
Almost.
The tournament stuff.
Yep.
And then the stuff at the end because the tone will shift.
So hard. It's not even night and day. It's like, God, you are literally going from this is a festival meant to bring us all together to run, scatter,
really, because like everything up
Don't
through
blink.
5, there's still that little bit of hinting in the background with the teachers are talking this vague, weird shit or whatever. And then 6, it becomes real because they bring one of our characters in on it for the first time.
Yep.
And we see what's going on with the maidens, and there's all this magical shit going on or whatever. And it's we're taking something that's being taken very seriously. There's some sort of conflict that we've kind of had hinted at is coming more to the forefront. And then the thing with Yang and Mercury, where it's just whoa, out of nowhere, and then after that, you get the backstory with the villains, which is darker, and episode 8, which has some darker themes in it, and the emotional stuff with Yang and Jean and Pyrrha, and it just kind of holds that darker tone, and then 9, everything just falls to pieces. And it's just one long running battle until the end where they survive, but that's it.
Yeah, at what cost?
They lose. The heroes lose.
And I like the fact that they do that. I don't think you see heroes
Lose enough in
lose
stories.
enough.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
The idea
especially-
of Darkest Before Dawn. Yeah, that you have
Yeah.
to fall before you can rise.
And it just makes sense. No one wins every fight
Yeah.
in a war or a battle. It's the Allies got their butts kicked in World War II on plenty of occasions before they, dropped the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So, Pearl Harbor to begin with, of all things. So,
Right. Yeah.
So in any conflict, you're going to have those ups and downs, and it makes a lot of sense. It also creates stakes.
Yep.
Because they killed Penny, they killed Torchwick, they killed Pyrrha, all 3
Killed a whole bunch of nameless students.
Yeah, all 3 redheads, by the way.
Yeah, they got something against gingers or something.
Yeah. It's about this. It was about this point when everybody kind of realized we should probably start worrying about Nora. Because
The
they don't
only
seem to
ginger left alive.
Yeah, they seem to not like redheads.
I thought Nora had pink hair.
Nope, orange, just a ginger. Yep. All right. Anything else to wrap up the volume?
Guys,
Final
it has been a good couple of months spending time watching this show. As soon as I am back, we can pick up season 4.
Yep. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, same.
Yep. All right. Yeah, but again, hopefully by the time you guys see this, it'll be at least a month or 2 down the line, probably, if we hold our release schedule. And there will, like I said, there will be some more RWBY content coming out in addition to this before Bobby gets back,
As well as a bunch of non-RWBY content.
Oh yeah, there will be. Even as we are recording this, and it's what is it? It's May 20 something, May 25th, 26th, I think, May 26th.
I can tell you. Your phone's right in front of you.
Right now? Oh yeah, my phone is right in front of me. I'll look. Yeah, there we go. May 26th. Even as we speak, we should start having some new content, brand new stuff out within the next week or so.
Production never stops.
So
It's the name of the
yeah,
game.
hopefully by the time you're seeing this, you will that will be out and underway for you guys to enjoy. So for now, yeah, if you like the video, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, hit bell for notifications. You can find us on Twitter at InfoConfused. And you can find our podcast here on YouTube, on SoundCloud, Spotify, and Stitcher. We are, as always, Informed and Confused. I'm Alan.
And I'm Bobby.
See you later.